All right. It is a Saturday. And I'm sick of games on Saturdays. I really am. I wasn't planning on streaming. I forgot there were games tonight, to be quite honest with you. So we're going to get through these. We're going to talk about these 2-0 games. And then we're going to get after it because it is Saturday. And, this is supposed to be our day. This is supposed to be the day, to chill with the pros, to just hang out, to just enjoy, not watching football. The NFL has a chokehold on everyone's week. It's not the end of the world. More football is good. However, I do wish Ravens-Packers was a little more competitive. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like we got Otis was worried there was no stream. Yeah, no, seriously, we don't miss other than last Saturday. That might be the rule. That might be the new rule. Streaming after every primetime game unless it's on Saturday, because there's something about Saturday football that just drives me crazy. Maybe that's why I don't like college. I just can't buy into watching football on a Saturday. You know how they say like Sunday is the Lord's day? That's great and all, but like it's football day. You know what I mean? It's pro football day. And I just kind of feel like, not to upset anyone, but you can't really do that with Saturday. Like Thursday night football, Monday night football, Saturday night football. It's just not there. It's just not there. Those King Henry State Farm ads finally make sense again. Exactly. He's back. He's back. The king has returned. This is why I drafted Derrick Henry in the first round. Yeah, apologies if you played Derrick Henry in the first round of your fantasy football playoffs. Packers can't even have a backup quarterback. The Packers are struggling. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Packers, Ravens, I was a little less focused on just because I didn't foresee it to be a great game, but I did follow it. I do know what happens. I do have some thoughts, but Texans Chargers is the main one. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. The status quo is not really going to change here. I mean, good God. Basically, here's what we know about the Packers and the Ravens. They're both very spotty. Okay, they're very tough to figure out, especially when they have backup quarterbacks. I did not see Clayton Tune reps. I saw Malik Willis got hurt, but then I thought, the game's over and turned it off. I did not know Clayton Tune went 1 for 4 with a pick. Shout out him. Damn it, I'm excited. That makes me happy. Who doesn't love Clayton Tune? I remember when he showed up in 2023, it's like, who is this guy? I'll tell you who he is. 6'3", 220 pounds, 26 years old out of Houston, a former 5th-round pick to the Arizona Cardinals, which we all know is a quarterback factory, all right? Who cares? We got the Tank Bowl on Sunday to talk about. Yeah, exactly. And obviously, I will be streaming tomorrow. So this is going to be a real quick, this is going to be the abridged Hunna stream, okay? If they were they're going to put games on Saturday and Tuesday and Wednesday and make a whole new day in the calendar just for football. We're going to have to do abridged streams at least every now and again. That sucked, but honestly, I'm more excited about having a team that isn't completely injured next year. Yeah, the Packers have gotten eviscerated by injuries. The good news is the Packers will be in the playoffs. The bad news is any kind of dreams of anything substantial kind of are out the window. Malik Willis was playing well, too. That's the thing. Malik Willis is pretty good, honestly. I was talking about it today, but Malik Willis is a guy who could have been taken first round, second round, falls to the third, goes to Tennessee. We all know that's not exactly a great place to develop a QB. And his career kind of went to die in Tennessee. But he's found some success in Green Bay. He did this last year. People were talking about starting him over Jordan Love, which I feel like happens a lot in the modern NFL. QB controversies are at an all-time high. But again, Malik Willis deserves his credit. 288, 1 tub, 60 yards on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns on 18 for 21 passing, 1 sack, and 1 injury. Damn it. Okay, Emmanuel Wilson. I held him in fantasy, didn't start him, thank God, but he did outrush Josh Jacobs. That's a bit of a surprise. I'm not going to lie to you. 7 carries between Emmanuel Wilson and Josh Jacobs. That feels wrong. And again, I'm very much avoiding the clear elephant in the room here, just by talking about the Packers, because the Ravens are the Ravens, man. No one knows what to think. The entire NFC North got ganked by injuries this year. I agree. I've ganked. I like that ganked. That's not a bad word. Write that down. I'm assuming you meant tanked, which is accurate, but ganked is funny. Anyways, Packers are there. Wish we could play the Cowboys in the wild card stage of the year. And that dream is dead, unfortunately. I would love nothing more than to watch the Cowboys lose in the playoffs. It's one of my favorite things. Malik Willis is better than Jordan Love. Is that something that serious football fans think? Like, Raina thinks that, but that's a Bears fan. Not saying Bears fans are unserious. But I do feel like a Bears fan has a more biased opinion than others. Now, the box score obviously isn't going to tell the full story. Christian Watson had that sick touchdown where he split the safeties on a cover 2. Just a straight up, just cover 2, traditional. Good find by Malik Willis. Christian Watson after the catch is lethal. 39-yard touchdown. That was fun. Zay Flowers, Pro Bowler, I might add. Zay Flowers is in the end zone. And you know what? Really quick later, I just want to remind myself, I just want to go through the Pro Bowl rosters really quick, just because why not? But we'll do that quick at the end. I meant ganked. It's a gamer. Not all right. Well, then I like it. I like it then. All right. Gamer terms. I like it. Ganked is probably some Midwestern phrase in Minnesota. I feel like every bad team's excuse always is injuries when it usually isn't. Hey, if anybody gets to call injuries, it's the New York Football Giants. But again, injuries are a part of the game. You know who said that? Brian Dable. And we all know he's a great coach who understands the game. You know who else understands the game? Any coach that has ever given Derrick Henry the football. Derrick Henry is the absolutely perfect uncle football player. And I'm sure you guys are going through this. I'm sure you guys are with family, loved ones, and that's awesome. Here's Gale. We got Gale. Trevor Lawrence should be the MVP. What I was saying was I'm sure a lot of you guys are with your families. You know how your uncle or your grandpa or like the guy who kind of watches football, the big games, but doesn't exactly know ball, you know what I mean? The football casuals, that's fine. He's a perfect player for football casuals because any person who's ever seen a snap of football, a single run, could tell you, oh, just give it to the big fast guy who's been playing forever. And that's what happened. Now, obviously, the Packers' run defense isn't much to write home about. They sent Kenny Clark. They've lost Micah Parsons. I imagine they've lost a ton of guys. They lost our boy. We were talking about it in the Discord. We lost who is it? Hallen? What's it? Haddon. Hey, Madden's on sale right now. Is that what the 30 is going for? Should I buy Madden and start streaming Madden? Thank you for the 30, John. Jesus. Once again, I appreciate it, John. I've given the whole spiel about how you don't need to donate money 100 times now. I appreciate it always. Shout out, John. W. John's in the chat. Like sounding like speed. Anyways, also Matthew Golden. What a waste of a pick. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. The Packers are beat up. The Packers are injured, man. At the end of the day, 41 points, letting Derrick Henry run all over you. 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like, what a day. How many fantasy points is that? Just off the top, I'm just going to look it up, actually. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. And I have more to say about Chargers Texans, but I want to get this game out of the way because, to be honest, there's really just one thing to discuss, and that's the return of King Henry. Which, who's not excited about that? Who's not thrilled that Derrick Henry's back in the saddle, making it happen? Derrick Henry finished with 45.6 fantasy points. That's crazy. In championship week, Derrick Henry won people so much money. 46, man with a plan. There you go. Herbo needs teammates that actually like him and don't hate the Chargers franchise. Oh, believe me. Oh, believe me. I want to see your Madden skills. I think I'll get on. John donated. And hey, man, if you guys put a little memo in the donation, I'll buy it. Shoot. Money is money, although YouTube does take a little bit off the top. Money is money. But yeah, it's not rocket science, guys. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. If we look through his game logs, which I think is very important to understand here, 18 carries, he went off. 11 carries, struggled. 12, he was fine, but not great. 8, not great. 15, again, and he wasn't great here in Houston. All right, very inefficient, averaging 2 yards a carry. That's gross. But the Texans are a 1-of-1 defense. The Texans are great. We saw that today. We'll talk about them in a second. 100 yards against the Rams. Good defense, by the way. 71 against Chicago in a win with 2 touchdowns. Okay, 19 carries, 120 yards. 20 carries, almost 100 yards. You know what I mean? It's just put the ball in his hands. Put the ball in his hands. And like, I don't want to sound like I'm reducing the game of football. I know there's more to it than give it to the big fast guy. But you have the big fast guy. And Lamar Jackson, you don't have the small fast guy. Give it to Derrick Henry, Ravens. Quit overthinking it. They're just the Titans, but purple. Remember when the Titans relied on Derrick Henry? And they were making AFC championship games, and everyone's like, how are the Titans doing this with Ryan Tannehill? Because they had the guy who was one of the best athletes we've seen since... athletes to stretch. Physical specimens since, like, Bo Jackson. Derrick Henry is massive, and he's been playing forever. And he's taken his shots this year. He's 31, and he's played like it. He's looked like it. That's what I'm saying. It's simple to say, oh, just give him the ball. He's looked like he's 31. But it works. And if you're the Ravens, you just need to win. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter why. You just need to win. I still can't believe the Ravens started the season 1-5. I cannot wrap my head around that. Their season would have already been over if Tyler Huntley didn't beat the Red Hot Bears in this game right here. Isn't that nutty? What happened to the Hunter from the Madden video, the guy that hated every Madden since Madden 12? Again, it's been requested. Look, should I just spend the 30 on an emulator and then just get Madden 12? That would be the best option, to be quite frank with you. We'll figure this out, though. Ravens still suck. I'm the proudest Henry Nakua Pitts owner. Yeah, see, well done. I hope you're in the championship, RJ. Damn, that's a hell of a squad. But basically, long story long, Tyler Huntley also deserves his credit. Look, he handed the ball off a lot tonight. Let's not act like he was Mr., slinging Sammy Baugh out there. But he got the job done, and he also was able to run for 60 yards. 167 total yards from Tyler Huntley, and a touchdown through the air that went to Zay Flowers. Once again, Pro Bowler Zay Flowers, which is a bit rich, but it is what it is. Here we are. So that's our 10-minute recap on this game. I want to talk about Chargers-Texans, unless anyone else has anything jumping off the page. Also, Mike Green sighting, recovering a fumble. There you go. Who said he was a bust? Not me. I didn't say he was a bust. I didn't think Mike Green was a bummer. Has Mike Green gotten to the quarterback at all this year? Winning the chip. Oh, yeah, let's go. Mike Green has 3.5 sacks out of Marshall. You'd like to see a little bit more, but again, you can see why he fell a little bit in the draft. Developmental guy. Hopefully Mike Green steps up because I just liked him as a prospect. Got a good name. Mike Green. And I forgot to mention Malik Willis got hurt. Yeah, low key. I'm with you, man, with a plan. He was doing great. The Hail Mary worked, if you catch my drift. I don't even know how I pulled it off. Now I'm on another start. Let's go, Stoner Cat. I know exactly what you're talking about. Stoner Cat shot his shot and it went through it swished. He played great tonight. He did play great tonight. I didn't exactly see the injury. It is a right shoulder injury. I'll pull up Twitter really quick to just see if there's any update on Malik Willis, which is, what a crazy thing to say. We're checking Twitter to see if there's an update on Malik Willis. And I do want to ask, where do we see Malik Willis going next year? I believe he's on an expiring deal. Okay. I want to say, put him on a quarterback needy team. Would Malik Willis win games in Minnesota? Again, I don't want to jump the gun here. I don't think they're going to give up on JJ McCarthy, but would he win games in Minnesota? I feel like he would. I can't find any medical updates on Malik Willis, but if anyone does, please let me know. But yeah, obviously apparent right shoulder injury, so there you go. But yeah, where do you go if you're Malik Willis? Hunnaballers online franchise could be fun. That's always been a dream of mine, to do like a 32-man franchise. We might get that going. That would be sick. All right, I like that idea. That's good to hear, Stoner Cat. We're happy. Modern Madden is slop, but can be funny slop sometimes. Proud by John's retirement fund sacrifice for Madden. Yeah, I just won't get into MUT. Buying Madden as a isolated transaction is not the end of the world, but putting money into MUT and Cut and FUT and whatever you want. Any Ultimate Team is a complete waste of dollars and time. Okay. Yeah. So hope Malik Willis is okay. But either way, he's going to get a big check at the end of the start of next year. And you know what? I got 2 words for you when it comes to Malik Willis, which is funny because their playing styles aren't very similar at all. But you guys are going to get it. Hunna knows ball. Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn, anyone? Packers quarterback, backup, who balls out and then goes to a different team and gets a big payday. Just saying, balls out at the end of the season. Name starts with M. Now I'm reaching. All right, Texans Chargers. Let's do it. All right, so here's the Steelers story with the Texans Chargers. This was how do I put this? This was a clash of wills, and not Will Anderson. All right, not Will Dissly. This was a clash of two teams that are structurally built very similarly in such strange ways. Okay, you have talented, great, dare I say, great, really good quarterback prospects. CJ Stroud, former 2nd overall pick. Justin Herbert, former 5th or 6th overall pick. I forget. I know he was a pick before Tua, so I think 5th. Yeah, whatever. Justin Herbert, obviously 6'6". Everybody loves him. Madison Beer, physical specimen, jacked, huge hands, messed up knees. Justin Herbert. CJ Stroud, Ohio State, tested, tried and true. One of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen. Actually, both of these quarterbacks, one of the best starts to careers we've ever seen, which I feel like happens every decade now, but that's a whole different discussion. So they have the talented quarterback, but for some reason, both of these teams refuse to protect that very quarterback. What is up with that? The Chargers less so, because the Chargers are injured. And we've talked about the Texans offensive line 1,000 times by now. But I just think it's ironic that 2 11-5 quality teams that are fighting for not playoff spots, but seeding within those playoffs are built so similarly. Especially at SoFi Stadium for a Chargers game. That's as close as you're going to get to a neutral field ever. I've been ripping on the Christmas games. I don't love that there's football on Saturday. However, this was a pretty good matchup. The NFL cooked with this one, I gotta say. So hand me a fork and knife and let's get into it. Okay, so the game started with the Texans coming out firing. 14 points in the first quarter. I want to say 14 points in the first 2 drives. I believe so, yeah. The Texans had 14 points before the Chargers got a total yard, I should say, through a drive. Like, come on. Texans are up 14. Chargers are -4 in total yards. That's crazy to me. They start the game that hot, and you'd think, oh, this game's over. I was watching the game with a Chargers fan, shout out Gunner, and he was saying about how, oh, the Chargers played terrible in this one. Not really. They just had a bad couple of plays. 3-play long touchdown score, 4-play long touchdown score, like 43-yard touchdown pass, 75-yard touchdown pass. Those are outlier plays, and clearly, because afterwards, this was a defensive slugfest. And to be honest with you, I don't typically love defensive slugfests, but this one had enough drama, good teams, it had turnovers, it had missed field goals. Dicker, the kicker, was bricking kicks. What is going on? He missed a 30-yard kick. This is supposed to be one of the best kickers in the NFL. Dude's missing from 30, and he missed a point after. Kickers get the yips, and the whole thing just falls apart. It's crazy. He's got the Jake Moody syndrome, whatever it's called. I don't know. But look at this. Just a lot of punts, a lot of turnovers. Chargers were able to eventually, finally answer back with their first of 2 touchdowns. I would like to say that I started Jameson Williams over Quentin Johnson. That'll be all. Thank you. Well, fair enough. QJ had a game, though, right? I don't know. I forget how JMO did. But QJ had a game, right? 15 fantasy points just or so. Overrated quarterback off. There you go. Straight Anthony Bradford and Daniel Falele on that Chargers offensive line. Yeah. No, I'm with you. They're not great. I don't get spending money on Ultimate Team restarts. What's the point? They shut down servers. You can't even look back at them. I don't get it either. If we did an online franchise, can we do fantasy draft? I don't use the Raiders default roster. I feel like we'd have to go traditional. Fantasy draft would be fun. That would be fun. We should do that in the off season. That would be sick. I'll think about buying Madden if we do a league. I'll for sure get it. Started Nico over Jaden Higgins. You idiots! You fool! How could you start Nico Collins over Jaden Higgins? What's wrong with you? He had 2 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Has Jaden Higgins arrived? No. Has Jalen Noel arrived? No. But it's a nice step. And when this team gets Tank Dell back, I'm not going to say they're dangerous because who knows what you do with this group. But it is worth noting. Once Tank Dell comes back, watch out. Because I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, the Texans defense is for real. We all know this. I don't think it would be a crazy leap to call them the best defense in football. I might lean towards Seattle, but again, it's pick your poison. I could probably name more Texans defenders. It was funny. I haven't been super proud of my knowledge of names and specific individuals this year, just because we've been watching every game. I feel very stretched thin, you know what I mean? But what I will say is I know a good amount of these Texans defenders. And as a football analyst, that sounds stupid. Like, oh, I actually know who these guys are. But that's worth saying. When we're covering 32 teams, okay, the fact that I know like the lion's share of these players, like I know Derek Barnett. Okay, now I'm just reading off the thing. There he is, Christian Kirk. Somehow Christian Kirk returned and made a tackle. So there you go. Welcome back, Christian Kirk. Derrick Henry, good. Yes. The kicker yips is called the Blair Walsh effect. Actually, that's way better. It's way better. My bad. The Blair Walsh Project. Great fantasy football name if you drafted Blair Walsh. That missed dick kicker was insanely off. It's like they didn't even set it correctly. It looked like a good hold. Did I miswatch that? It looked like a good hold to me. It looked clean. But Dicker the kicker is missing kicks. YouTube's probably going to get mad at me for saying that, but whatever. Iowa State wide receivers had a good day. I did too as an Iowa boy. Well, I'm glad you had a good day, uncreative. I think, you know what, honestly, all things considered, it was a damn good Saturday. Let's go. Woody Marks got involved, obviously, but nothing too explosive. Chargers couldn't get anything to go on the ground. One thing I really appreciated was just the defensive play calling on both sides. I thought the Texans did a really good job of covering, like overall, I'd say, like for the lot of the game, other than a couple big plays. I thought they did a really good job shutting down the Chargers receiving core. I think they were they leaned more on their secondary, I want to say, whereas the Chargers went the opposite approach and were sending 5, sometimes 6, just straight up the nose right at CJ Stroud. And he just couldn't do anything in the second half. The Texans only scored 6 points after the first quarter, and it was like 2 field goals. That's it. I need the return of much Chubb. Chubb would be sick. Legit, knowing defensive names means they're a real set. That's what I mean. This is like the Legion of Boom. Legion of Doom. Is that a thing? Wait, it's the Legion of Boom. Why isn't this the Legion of Doom? That has to have already existed, right? Maybe that's like the play on words. The Legion of Doom is the original thing. Anyways, whatever. Who needs to get into a whole pop culture talk? Anyways, Christian Kirk also 2 grabs, 1 yards. Again, welcome back, Christian Kirk. Gadsden got a touchdown. That pissed me off because I thought I was playing him in the fantasy championship. However, the guy I'm playing started Michael Mayer. So good move, I guess. Go Raiders. That's going to be a high flying game. And if you missed it, Hunna's picks, which I guess I can pull up here really quick. Watch this. Look at this. One button, one shot. Great. There, one button, one shot. That wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be. But there you go. We picked the Texans plus 1.5. We picked the Packers minus 4.5. So we 1 for 2. I did not know Jordan Love wasn't going to play, but yeah, I did. That's a lie. Yeah, I did. I was wrong. I can own that. One for 1 today, or 1-on-1. Legion of Doom is the original. Okay, that's what I assumed. Yeah, I feel like I'd heard it. Legion of Boom is basically the Legion of Doom. They're basically I figured that. That sounded too good to have not been thought of. It's like there's no way they started with Legion of Boom. Like it had to have come from something, right? But yeah, that tracks. Well, we discovered it. The Legion of Doom. Welcome to Hunnaball. But outside of that, I just thought it was a fun game. This is one of my favorite defensive matchups of the year. Had a lot of fun with it. Someone told me Derwin James got 2 picks. That was a lie. One of them was Elijah Molden. But in general, and it was also funny, the Herbert pick, let's talk about the quarterbacks really quick. Justin Herbert, you know, he could have played better. He definitely missed some passes, but it's very tough to grade these QBs just given the time they had. I will say, CJ Stroud didn't take a sack. So that's good. He also threw 2 picks, but still, Legion of Doom, also Seahawks. No, just Legion of Boom. Unless they, like, ripped it off again, but what would be the point of that? Yes, they did. It was amazing. Wait, what do we got? A legit knowing defense. Did they bring out the comically large toaster? Well, the Pop-Tart Bowl? I did not watch the Pop-Tart Bowl. Oh, boy. Jeez, I should pull that up really quick. And, but yeah, just to close on the Texans-Chargers, I just really thought this was just a fun defensive matchup. And, you know, we haven't had great games today. This week, to be honest with you, the Christmas games were kind of a snore, and I was just happy to see something interesting happen once. So, let's see, top 5 Pop-Tart moments. I'd watch it, but Fox News put it out, and I'm not really trying to get into that whole dialogue. So, for now, we're just going to live with it. But the tarts were popped, I'll say that. That's, probably could have landed that one better. But yeah, open image in new tab. There it is. There it is. Toast me! All right. Anyways, so that's the Texans-Chargers game. Again, it's going to be tough to grade these guys on the hill, but we'll do it. Hell, Herbert might go behind Tyler Shuck because Tyler Shuck's a man. Got into a whole conversation about Shuck today. It's like, this Tyler Shuck guy's pretty damn good. Bears-Niners going to feed families. Oh, yes, it is. And again, we took the Niners, but again, that game could go any which way. We got some good matchups this week. Giants-Raiders is not one of those good matchups, and the Raiders are, let me say this really quick, just because Giants channel, right? The Raiders are intentionally trying to lose games. I think that is shitty, and I don't think they should be allowed to do that. I don't think them throwing a bunch of people on IR and calling a bunch of inactives and load managing is right. It makes me mad. I'm angry, but the Giants are doing the same thing. So you can't really complain, right? Both teams are clearly trying to lose. I hate the message it's sending within the Giants locker room. Jackson Dart was quoted to say he loves the game, so he could never get that discouraged, but just the vibes and the tone he said it in, you could tell he's about 1.5 years away from getting discouraged and his career basically ending. Legion of Doom is actually the Philadelphia Flyers in the 90s. Whoa. Okay. Gophers are the most mid team in all of college football. PJ Flex, the college version of Mike Zimmer. Minnesota, it's just a uniform state. You know what I mean? Just all the sports are the exact same, except the Wolves. Wolves are back. But yeah, that's basically the crux of this. Texans defense is for real. Daniil Hunter getting to Herbert. CJ Stroud won. He played keep away. There were some controversial calls at the end, a couple of legal contexts, but again, one got called against the Texans, one got called against the Chargers, so life goes on. There was a pretty bad roughing call that was also called against the Chargers somewhere in the fourth quarter, but again, to say the refs got too involved in this one would kind of be underselling it. Let's talk about the Pro Bowl real quick, which, boy, hate that sentence. All right, QBs. I just want to kind of grade, first of all, Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott. That aligns decently well with the Hill, honestly. Those are our top 3 NFC quarterbacks in the Hill. So good to know we go with the crowd here. Running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, that's fine. Yeah, no one's going to disagree with that. Scat could have done it. We all know Scat could have done it, but, you know, can't have them all. This is about right. Does Amon-Ra have the stats to be here? Obviously, he has the notoriety, but does he have the stats? I'm trying to think again. If there are Pro Bowl snubs, I'm sorry. I would have loved to see Devontae Adams here. Obviously he's not, but I would have loved to see it. He's probably an alt. Max Crosby, Janty, and Powers are actually injured. They just don't know it. There you go. Feel bad for Janty. Feel bad for me. Feel bad for the Giants. Come on. Giants Raiders will be the NFL version of SDU versus UNT Absolute Cinema. Apparently the Wild are good too. They made a huge trade. Go Wild. Minnesota Wild. I'm sorry. Worst sports team name by far. That's worst sports team name by far. I was going to say that's who people should protest, but I realized that's not it's not really what's going on here. I don't think they're protesting, these names because they don't like them. Like, hey, I don't like the Wild. It makes no sense. All right. Tight end, that tracks. Trey McBride for first ballot Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer. I didn't want to finish it because I just felt a little sheepish about it. First ballot Hall of Famer, Trey McBride. Also, this George Kittle guy is there. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've been watching offensive linemen, but I'm glad Drew Dahlman made the cut. Let's go, Drew. I always like to think if my name was Andrew, what I would go by. Andy, Andrew, Andman, Drew, DRU, JRUE. Do you think I could pull off JRUE? Probably not. Tressway starting in the Pro Bowl, #1 most loved Commanders player. Is that the only Commanders player? It's okay. Giants only have one player, and his name's Brian Burns, and I'm glad he's finally getting some respect. Again, this is fan vote mostly, and I feel like the fans just kind of looked and saw, oh, most sacks, Brian Burns. Let's vote him. Cool. Two Williams, by the way, unrelated. Defensive tackles got in. I would have loved to see Dexter Lawrence there, but unfortunately, DeMarcus Lawrence went. He deserved it. Dexter Lawrence has been playing not great this year, and that hurts. I would have loved to see multiple Giants here, but instead we got multiple Seahawks, multiple Rams, and look at that, former Giant, Leonard Williams. Now this puts a smile on my face. Where's budding superstar Tyler Shuck? That's the question. We had the North Stars, but like the Lakers, they moved. 9's a snub. 9 got snubbed, and you're right. The Lakers were a Minnesota team. Be funny if each team was taking intentional safeties back and forth to try and lose. Yeah, refs have to call the game. But in other news, Brian Burns repping the New York Giants. The NYG is the only Giants player, so that's good. Jared versus Byron Young filling out the outside linebacker. Well earned. I think Zach Bond's hella overrated, but whatever. I love J.C. Horn getting the nod, especially the top vote. J.C. Horn's really coming on. Devin Witherspoon also kind of a sneaky good corner. I mean, not sneaky good. We all know he's good. But I love when players go like 8 to 15 and not a lot of people talk about him because there's another highly discussed player at their position. Perfect example, J.C. Horn, right? He gets taken. Pat Surtain goes a few picks later, and everyone talks about Pat Surtain. He's probably better, but I'm glad J.C. Horn landed on his feet. Devon Witherspoon, I think, is a similar thing. I want to say he was the 8th pick. I don't remember if the positional group thing still applies, though. Cooper DeJean, though, Quinyon Mitchell, same draft class for the Eagles. I highlighted that because I'm annoyed. The Eagles got 2 Pro Bowl corners. Again, Pro Bowl is not the end-all, be-all, but it is nice going through and saying like who got credit. James Pierce probably did get snubbed. 5 is a snub. Wait, like me? 5 or wait, who? 5? Like who? JD 5? James Pierce maybe. Again, let's just look at the sack totals. Again, I should probably know these by heart by now. It's the only stat the Giants have any kind of close guy in. All right. Here we go. Top sacks. Where is our boy here? Pierce, 8.5. All right, maybe not a snub. Would be funny if Cam Jordan made it. But yeah, outside of that, I'm not going to sit here and act like I have like big issues. Return specialist Rashid Shaheed, I like that a lot. Tressway repping the Manders, and John Weeks. Love when long snappers get their due. All right, let's check out the AFC and let's get the hell out of Dodge. Snubs. There's a whole article for snubs. Will Reichert. Good point. Jordan Love. I don't know. Jalen Petrie, Josh Hines Allen, and Devin Lloyd. Wow. Devin Lloyd's not a player that's going to get a lot of love, which is unfortunate. Go Jags. All right, AFC. Players, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Drake May. All right. Again, aligns with the Hill decently well. Where the hell's Trevor? Where the hell's Trevor? Trevor is better than Justin Herbert. I'm not like kidding with that. Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Herbert. He's had a better season. I think he should get MVP votes. Not #1 MVP votes, but like 3rd or 4th place MVP votes. Mind you, wouldn't be the first time in Trevor Lawrence's career. He got MVP votes back in 2022, the year they came back against the Chargers, and beat Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert didn't earn this. Outside of that, I like these running backs. Probably thought James Cook probably should be ahead of Devon Achane, but again, let's not nitpick orders. Wide receivers, I feel like Jamar Chase didn't have the season to match with this, to be quite candid with you. And also Zay Flowers feels like a weird inclusion. Cortland Sutton, sure, again, this feels kind of like a default. I didn't realize how thin the AFC was for receivers. I wouldn't have hated an outside guy. Stephon Diggs has had a good season. He's probably not a Pro Bowler, but is Jamar Chase really, like, where are the wide receiving numbers at? That, like, really messes with me. Like, really? I guess Jamar Chase is putting together a good season. I didn't know JMO had 1,000. I guess if you're going straight yards, these are the best wide receivers in the AFC, but it is weird to talk about. I don't know. Again, Jamar Chase and Nico Collins makes sense. Flowers and Sutton, come on, AFC. Let's step up with the receivers. I agree and right. Trust Way's had a lot of work this year. That's true. Whereas Trevor's 10 touchdowns in 2 games, Lawrence. Herb is not better than Trev. Thankful Bo ain't there, though. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so thankful Bo Nix isn't there. If Bo Nix was there, I'm breaking my computer. Tight ends. Travis Kelce made it, of course. Fan vote. How could he not? Again, not going to act like I watch an offensive lineman. Not a shock that 2 Broncos made it, though. Very good offensive line. Bravo, Bo Nix. You have a really tough job. Our least favorite quarterback in the NFL. I found out today, a lot of people don't like Bo Nix. I think anybody that watches football can recognize Bo Nix as a fraud. He's the Jalen Hurts of the AFC. All right. Pass rushers. The fact that Myles Garrett isn't the top, this might be alphabetical. I don't think so, though. The fact that Myles Garrett isn't the top voted defensive end on here is nuts, but whatever. Will Anderson is cool. And maybe, and genuinely, this is what I think happened. Will Anderson's name starts with A. He's at the top of the list. So it's like, all right, let's put Will Anderson. Oh, duh, of course, Myles Garrett. Like, that's how most voters went, in my opinion. I'm glad Jeffrey Simmons got the nod. Chris Jones, again, I guess, sure. Again, I don't want to, like, assume. I don't know. I don't have the stats memorized. It feels like Chris Jones has had a down year. How could they snub Bo Nix, the greatest QB of all time? T-Law's had a better season, but Herbo's better. Fair enough. Give T-Law the nod, then. Stress with Flacco helped Jamar a lot. Okay, that tracks. That tracks. To be fair, that was most of the season. Outside linebacker, Nick Bonito earned it, of course. Go Broncos. Some Texans showed up. A lot of Texans showed up, actually. Derek Stingley getting the nod. Love that. Gonzo. Denzel Ward. I have no issue with these corners. Jalen Ramsey. And then our safeties. Cool. And then we got a Jags long snapper, Jordan Stout, Dicker the kicker, ironic, and Jameer DK, who is awesome. And Ben Skoranek, who isn't a Giant but feels like one. Okay. So, and I mean New York Giant, not literal, because that would be mean. All right. Herbo's T-Law's son. Agreed. I'm friends with really annoying Broncos fans, so I bet Bo Nix plus the same draft. So I hate Bo Nix plus the same draft class as JD5. Exactly. There's Gale. Gale, I agree with you. I think T-Law got snubbed. I do. And I don't think the media is talking about it enough. If I were an MVP voter, which hopefully one day, Trevor Lawrence would have gotten a top 5 vote out of me. But anyways, fellas, I said this was going to be a bridge stream. We crossed the half-hour mark. I'm glad we talked about this, but we will cover more and more and more tomorrow on the Hunnaball Sunday stream. We'll be watching the 10 o'clock games for me on the West Coast. Maybe not for you. Maybe 1 o'clock for you. Again, it gets tricky. But we got 10 o'clock. We got Cardinals Bengals. Come on. Can I have some more, please? We'll probably just be watching Seahawks Panthers, if that. Oh, boy. And maybe Red Zone. Jags Colts is a maybe. See if Trevor can really put away the season. Then we got the game of the year. Bills Eagles. Giants Raiders will also be happening. We will obviously be watching that. And hell, we might even do the marathon Bears Niners. Maybe, maybe not. Time will tell. And who's not excited for Rams Falcons? The primetime hero, Atlanta Falcons. We need a Madden League. I like that. I'll write that down. That and getting ganked. The NFL's QB versus QB with only 0 context behind it. Exactly. That is it. That is it. That's how we grade things here. Wins are a QB stat, and Herbo sucks. I'm sick of, again, try to meet a Chargers fan that doesn't make a million excuses for Herbert. Challenge level impossible. But anyways, fellas, a giant move Giants Raiders on Sunday Night Football. I think Bears Niners is a fun one, but I like the idea. They should have put Giants Raiders instead of Ravens Packers. Come on. Something with some substance, something real. But anyways, that's all I got, fellas. A bridge stream is ending now. But thanks for tuning in. Thank you, John, for the 30. I appreciate it. And I'm going to look into that Madden League. So keep an eye. But don't buy Madden. If that's the only reason you're going to buy Madden, please don't. It would be ironic. The guy whose most popular video is Don't Buy Madden started a Madden Fantasy League. That would be ironic. But again, who cares? Yeah, that's that. But anyway, have a kick-ass Saturday, guys. Herbo's the NFL's goofy two shoes. They need to move Giants Raiders into Sunday Night Football. Yeah. Imagine losing a playoff game to Trevor where his supporting cast was lit. Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk was awesome. We won't take Christian Kirk slander. I'm getting angry. I'm getting off stream. We won't take Christian Kirk slander. Thanks for tuning in, fellas. Have a good rest of your night. Hannah Ball.